All the sources that I've got on here came from the National Center for Science Education. Their mission, NCSE Science Education, because everyone deserves to engage with the evidence. Since 1981, the National Center for Science Education, NCSE, has worked to ensure that what is taught in science classrooms and beyond is accurate and consistent with the best current understanding of the scientific community. NCSE recognizes that well-established areas of science that are culturally controversial, in particular climate change and evolution, are challenging to teach. Many teachers avoid or water down their coverage of these topics out of fear of conflict. NCSE helps train teachers and community volunteers in approaches that have been proven to reduce conflict and help learners overcome even deeply held misconceptions about evolution and climate change. NCSE also helps local communities block legislation and other efforts that would result in the miseducation of students on these critical topics. Thank you, and here they are. Number 20, Society for Integrative and Comparative Biology. This is their statement on creationism and intelligent design. Nothing in biology makes sense except in the light of evolution. Insofar as the life sciences are critical to human health, well-being, and knowledge, evolutionary biology is and must be a fundamental component of an excellent science education. Moreover, awareness of current views concerning evolutionary history and mechanisms, including natural selection, is an essential part of modern literacy for all citizens. Excellence in education requires that teachers and students can explore, investigate, and criticize scientific ideas. However, learning and inquiry are inhibited when educators feel pressured to alter their teaching of fundamental concepts of science in response to demands external to the scientific disciplines. The Society for Integrative and Comparative Biology is committed to these principles and will support the teaching of fundamental concepts and ideas in science, including those related to evolution and the nature of scientific inquiry. Number 21, Society for Neuroscience. This is their statement on creationism and intelligent design. Recognizing that the principles of evolution are fundamental to understanding and studying the origins and diversity of living things, the Society for Neuroscience opposes the assertion that teaching intelligent design theory is a valid scientific alternative to teaching evolution in science classrooms. The theory of evolution is accepted with remarkable consensus throughout the scientific community. The evidence in its support has accumulated over the past 160 years from fields as disparate as paleontology and genomics, and it's overwhelming. Scientific advances in the field of evolution, as in every other field of science, are obtained on the basis of respectful debate, the continuous search for truth, and meticulous investigation to accept or reject ideas supported by evidence. In this regard, education on evolution and science in general provides tools for a better understanding of ourselves and the world, and also provides individuals with a language for universal understanding, mutual respect, and tolerance. 22. Society for Organic Petrology. This is their statement on creationism and intelligent design. The Council of the Society for Organic Petrology has voted to its support of the American Geological Institute's position statement on evolution. Evolution is good science. Understanding evolution and the nature of science is important to society. The Society for Organic Petrology supports teaching evolution and the nature of science in our nation's classrooms, museums, and informal science centers. 23. Society for the Study of Evolution. Evolutionary theory should be taught in public schools because it is one of the most important scientific theories ever generated, and because it is the accepted scientific explanation for the diversity of life. As a scientific theory, it is testable and has been extensively tested. As stated by the great geneticist and evolutionist Theodosius Dabansky, nothing in biology makes sense except in the light of evolution. The theory of evolution is subject to refinements and revisions, but this is no different from any other major scientific theory, such as those providing the explanation frameworks of geology, physics, or chemistry. There is no pedagogical, or scientific reason to treat evolutionary theory any differently than any other well-accepted scientific theory, and it should be taught in public schools as the firmly established, accepted, unifying scientific principle that it is. 24. Society of Physics Students. This is their statement that they give on creationism and intelligent design. Recently, some political and educational groups have attempted to undermine the importance of teaching the concepts of biological and cosmological evolution, thereby rejecting the consensus of the scientific community. Ideas about the structure and evolution of the universe, including Earth and its life forms, are unifying concepts in science. The development of students' informed views about these concepts is essential to the knowledge of science. These concepts should therefore be included and emphasized as a part of science frameworks and curricula for all students. 25. Society of Systematic Biologists. This is their statement they give on creationism and intelligent design. The historical fact of evolution as common descent with modification for life on Earth and the concepts used to study evolutionary change in living systems provide the unifying theme for all biological knowledge. This is aptly summarized in Bansky's statement that nothing in biology makes sense except in the light of evolution. The corollary that nothing in evolution makes sense except in the light of phylogeny is broadly recognized as well. 26. Society of Vertebrate Paleontology. This is their statement they give on creationism and intelligent design. Evolution is fundamental to the teaching of good biology and geology, and the vertebrate fossil record is an excellent set of examples of the patterns and processes of evolution through time. We therefore urge the teaching of evolution as the only possible reflection of our science. Any attempt to compromise these patterns and processes of evolution in science education, to treat them as less than robust explanations, or to admit alternative explanations not relying upon sound evolutionary observations and theory, misrepresents the state of our science and does a disservice to the public. Textbooks and other instructional materials should not indulge in such misrepresentation. Educators should shun such materials for classroom use, and teachers should not be harassed or impeded from teaching vertebrate evolution as it is understood by its practitioners. Okay, that wraps it up. Thank you. I will do this again next week because I want to make an impression on how many of these institutions accept science the way that the mainstream does, and things like AIG, they're just pseudoscience. They're just out there trying to do weird things. Anyway, I'd like to get more people involved on this, and I've been working on this for almost a year to try and get this out, but I haven't been able to organize anything yet. But I'm going to try and get other people to read these statements too, so it's not just me reading them all. But anyway, like, share, and subscribe this because I think it's important. Take care. DriveBYE out.